Hey there everybody, this is Brian Fink from the Church of the Resurrection with a word from the DCC. And before I launch into things today, I wanted to give a quick shout out to my buddies over at The Armchair Catholic. It's a great podcast if you haven't heard of it. I was lucky enough to be on the show a few months ago, and they gave me a shirt, which I'm not wearing right now. I was wearing it earlier, but I'm not anymore, so I'm glad I shared that little anecdote with you. I'm sure it made your day that much more pleasant. But on one of their recent episodes, they talked about kids and about the challenges of raising children in the 21st century. And only a sliver of it was about technology, but I thought I would piggyback a little bit on it. So away we go. Technology might be the most ubiquitous presence in our lives in 21st century America. Constant, all day long, all night long, the internet is ever present to us through our computers, through our phones, through our devices. Not only to us, but to our kids. And we all know about the dangers of technology. We all know that way too many of us are using way too much of it. Even if not for objective evil purposes like pornography or gambling. We're just sucked in. And I read an article earlier today that talked about the fact that what we recognize in our present day and age is that it's to a great extent just a distraction. Everything around us, everything that surrounds us is just a distraction from eternity. And we're made for eternity. We're made to speak the language of eternity. We're made to breathe the air of eternity. And the air of technology is stifling. It's close. It's kind of smelly. And when we spend so much time on technology, we forget the language of eternity. We forget how to speak it. We forget what it sounds like. And it becomes foreign to us, such that when we hear it, we're a bit put off. Much easier to listen to the language of Instagram or Twitter or Candy Crush or Boom Boom Beach or Minecraft or whatever it might be. We forget the language of eternity. And that's a problem because we're made for eternity. Another reason that technology can be so damaging, and I'm stealing this from a guy named Matt Fradd, who you may have heard of, he's leaving the internet for a month, and it's so funny that he actually has to announce it. It's sort of an odd thing, like he's going on a mission trip or something, or flying to Uganda to do mission work. I don't know. But he asked himself why, or he knew people would ask him that. And he said, because the more I use the internet, the more irritable I become, the more combative I become, the more lethargic I become, the less thoughtful, the more flippant. Basically, I become less of the kind of man that God is calling me to be. And isn't that our experience of the internet? It just makes me angry most of the time. Because people say foolish things and they're not very well thought out. And the more I get into it with those people, it turns out they don't really care about the fact that what they're saying isn't thoughtful. Or it makes a lot of people jealous. Look at what they have that I don't. It makes a lot of people judge. Look at that post. Can you believe they said that? Can you believe they did that? And it makes most of us just lazy and lethargic and uninterested in real life, like spending time with our kids, being with our spouses, reading books, being outdoors, whatever it might be. I can't think of one time that I've been on the internet that I've thought, upon leaving, I'm now a better person. And Bob the Builder can't teach my kids anything that I can't teach them. My kids don't need screen time. They need time with me, time with my wife, time with each other, times to be bored. When was the last time you were bored? For more than 30 seconds, unless you left your phone somewhere. The moment that we're bored, boom, we're on. Searching. Go to iambored.com, right? That's why these sorts of sites exist. StumbleUpon, another one. BuzzFeed, most social media is just a distraction. And it's all in the present, it's all immediate, and it's all fading. Ephemeral, the fancy word. It all goes away. And only eternal things endure. So let's think about just putting the devices away. And not just for a temporary fast, let's just get rid of them. Who needs them? I don't need to argue on Twitter with some guy from New Mexico. What's the point? My friends can email me, my family can call me if they have news to share. Let's turn our minds and our hearts toward eternity so that we become more and more familiar with that language, so that we recognize Jesus when he comes, and he won't be one who says to us, I never knew you. All right, that's it. God bless. We'll talk to you soon.